Thanks for tuning in. My name is Eric Showry. I'm the CEO and owner of Cascade Limousine Service, located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's Western Canada. Cascade Limousine Service has been in business for 52 years, started in 1972. I bought an existing business and I bought a business which I saw has potential for growth, and a business which I felt like I could bring in my own skills and contribution and help grow it to something much bigger. So I've been in the industry since July 1st, 2023. We're now in February 2025. And in this video, what I'll show you is what my sales funnel looks like. Pretty much how we capture leads, how we draw leads, how we capture the information, or how we get them to raise their hand and fill in a form and say we're interested, what's the price, and then we put them through a funnel, a sales process where we give them a quote, we follow up, we answer questions, we book them in. Then once they're booked, we send them some behind the scenes emails about their upcoming reservation, things to remember, things to know that they should know. And then we do the trip. And then after the trip, we ask them to give us a Google review, and we get a Google review, plus we get money in our pocket. So I'm going to show you, that's pretty much our sales funnel. So I'm going to show you from the top real quick how we capture leads using Google Ads and our website, and then where those leads go when they fill in a form or when they give us a call. So here we go. There's two main software that I use to manage my limo business. One is called Limo Anywhere. It's a reservations, booking, dispatch software. It allows you to pretty much handle all the operational, communication and booking and all that. And the second software that I use is called Limo Manager. It's a gray label app that I built off of the framework of GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel is a white label app. It has like 1,000 features. So what you can do is you can pay a subscription and you can just use the features that are relevant to you. So for me, I bought a subscription, but I bought a higher tier subscription so I can customize my own app, which I use for myself, and I also use for a few of the clients that I help manage their limo pay-per-click and sales funnel. So for me, those two are connected. It's not just the pay-per-click, it's not just the Google Ads, the lead generation, but the lead conversion is where the work is done. Okay, I'd say 30% of the work is getting the leads, the lead generation, the 60%, 50% is the lead conversion, and 20% is customer retention. You got to keep your customers. Okay, that's the whole funnel. So what I'll show you here is so I'll start from pretty much, let me start from our website. Oh, this is our website. When you search cascadelimo.com, this is what you get. I built this website myself with the help of web developers. I never paid. So the first website I ever built, when I came into the business, we had an old website. So what I did is I subcontracted GoDaddy to just build me a website. I needed something to get going, because the difference between the old website and anything else would be a significant improvement. So what I didn't have is the luxury of time, because that website was just hurting us every day. So I just needed a website done today. And that's why I subcontracted a website builder, GoDaddy. They built my website. It was about $3,000. And I know that's high for a website, but given that this was like building a brand new website and we had to build so many pages, so many features, I was willing to pay it just for the peace of mind of knowing it's going to be done. So the website they built to this website we see now, this is like version 4.0. They built for us version 2.0, and ever since then I've been reiterating for the last 2 years version 2.1, 2.2, 3.0, 3.5, and now we're at version 4.0. This is our version 4.0. The last update we did to this was probably January. I've made some updates in January, like adding this section here with the trips completed so far. And pretty much the wireframe that I've used, I've gone off of a lot of, not really a lot, but just two main marketing philosophies. And one of them is this guy. Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is someone I've really used. He's pretty much his marketing ideology. And someone else is Donald Miller with Business Made Simple. So there's so many people out there who will tell you this is the best way to build a landing page, this is the best way to build a website. Just choose one and stick with it, because they all, if you just use any of the industry recommended ways, from the heroes section, a nice, visible and easy to see call to action. You have a call to action here. You have your number there. You're trying to build trust throughout. You're talking about your reviews. You're showing 2,000 trips. Like, clearly we know what we're doing. And then you're trying to reach different target markets. So this is our website, and it's been doing good. It's been doing a month over month. Ever since I came, we've just been growing and growing our organic traffic. We're doing pretty good now. I'm not going to show the organic traffic numbers now, but I just want to show you, when someone comes to our website, if they search Cascade Limo, or if they search other keywords that were high ranking, they're going to find us on our website, and they're going to come here. And what we want them to do is either press a button and call. When they come to our website, there's a lot of distractions, so maybe they'll scroll through a bit. As you can see, one thing that's predominant is the call to action, and we made it green specific because green speaks of money. It speaks of go, go, go. So green is our call to action. Anywhere they go, get a free quote. They scroll down a bit, they can go into these areas, but even if they open this, like Banff and Lake Louise Transportation Service, boom, call to action, book now, book now. Every page they go, there's a call to action just waiting for them. This is the top. Book a ride now is some people who have used us before, they come to our website, they just go straight in, they can log in and just enter the details. All this widget here is actually Limo Anywhere. So Limo Anywhere is the software I was talking about. So when they book here on my website, it creates the lead in Limo Anywhere. So if someone books here, they're ready to pay, no conversation, just boom, send them the link. But if someone fills in a quote, so this is the book now, but we don't have it as a separate page. But for people who are new and they just have questions, we have a get a quote now. So get a quote sends them now to a different page with a different form. And this form now integrates to my CRM, Limo Manager / GoHighLevel CRM. Okay. So that's what this form does. When they fill in their details here, get your quote, there's a back end process, an automation that I've built, a workflow that takes that information. It creates a contact using the info they've provided. It creates an opportunity to say this is a lead, and it adds them to a certain pipeline, which is my website pipeline. And then it sends them now an automated series of messages. And one of the first messages is, hey, hi, Eric, thanks for submitting a quote. Would you prefer that we text, call, or email you? They get that message. As soon as they fill in the form, within 20, 30 seconds, they get a message. And then they say, yeah, text me the quote. And then one of our dispatchers or reservation agents can now just look at the info and text them a quote. If they say call, then we add them to the queue and someone will give them a call soon. Usually right away. Depending how busy we are, we add them to a queue. If they ask for an email, same thing. We just go on email and we do that. And SMS, call, and email is all happening in our CRM. And that's the importance of a CRM. I don't need, the way we used to do it before is someone would have to go to Outlook, open the email, communicate there, go into Limo Anywhere, create the reservation. There was a lot of channels of communication. I wanted to narrow everything down to one single source. And that's what this app does. It allows me to SMS, call, and email my customers from one place. I'll show you an example. I created this contact. This is mine, but I just updated it. YouTube demo. And I'll show you some of the things. These are like marketing campaigns we've done. I'll just use an example. So that's the website. So when someone fills in the form on the website, I'll use this example here. For Antonio, it says he filled in the form, okay, at 9:06. It should say here, he filled in the form at 9:07:42 p.m. And literally at the same minute, within seconds, he gets a text message. Hi, Antonio, it's Cascade Limo. Thanks for requesting a quote. Would you prefer that we call, email, or text you your quote? Reply, stop to unsubscribe. Thanks. He says text. Also, we noticed you requested a ride to the airport. This is also an automation that recognizes that they came from an airport Google Ads campaign. And I have my attribution, so I should be able to see that. but I'm pretty sure when I look at my attributions, this is going to show that he came from a Google Ads airport campaign, and it identifies that. And I have like an automation in the back end that messages and say, hey, we noticed you're asking for a ride from the airport. And you can see here the attribution, paid search. He visited our Limos page, global, corporate, airport, and car service, exact match. And you can see here, paid search. Does it say what keyword he used? Yep. YYC car service is the keyword. That's the ad group. And so we have tracking, so we see exactly which ads are performing. Anyway, so Antonio submitted a form. It created a contact, sent him to the thank you page. And then it's added him to an opportunity. There's an opportunity here. And then we start working with him. This was a manual. This is the first manual emails. This is the first manual email that we sent. Now you see Antonio emailed at 9 p.m., but we replied at 7 a.m. So we sent him the quote. And then when you send the quote, you update the opportunity. And this is the value. So this is what we have. And this is what we call an opportunity. Each lead is an opportunity. So with our CRM, Antonio came here. We're communicating. We've booked. Hey, just need to change. Look, my guys are texting. We can SMS. You can see down here at the bottom where the cursor is. SMS, WhatsApp, email. And we can also call. Up here, there's a button. Boom, you can call. Everything can happen from here. So if God forbid, we have a turnover of staff and one guy goes and one guy comes, there's no questions. Hey, what was the last guy talking about with Antonio? Every communication with Antonio is recorded here. So anyone who comes knows exactly where the last guy left off. We know how much we quoted. We know exactly where Antonio wants to go because his info is here on the form. So that's the benefit of the CRM. Okay. So pretty much, how do we get leads to our website? Just organic SEO. We do blogs. Blogs have really helped. Backlinks, all the usual SEO stuff, making sure your technical SEO is good. And then also, getting referral domains. That's another strategy. So there's different SEO things you can do to get organic traffic. I think of SEO as investing in your RRSP, like if you're Canadian, or your 401k if you're American. It's like a long-term investment. That's SEO. I caution my clients, look, if you're hurting for money right now, why are you spending $2,000 a month on SEO? Bruh, you're not making that $2,000 this month. You're gonna make that $2,000 maybe in 12 months, okay? Because SEO is a long game. That's what they always tell us. SEO is a long game. But I just want the quick money, okay? So you can't play a long game and try and make quick money. That's not how it goes. So SEO is the long game. Invest in your SEO, maybe a couple hundred a month, something conservative. But the main money maker, baby, the main money maker is the Google Ads pay-per-click, and this is where we go. When we switched to Google Ads not switched, but when we added Google Ads to our organic traffic reach, it blew us up. It blew us up, guys. There's no better feeling for a limo manager when your phone can't stop ringing. It's stressful, but it's worth it. If you're not on Google Ads, start with a marketing agency. As a limo owner, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Just focus on your strength. If your strength is driving and customer interaction and dispatching and buying cars and testing new cars and hosting events, whatever, focus on that. Hire someone to do your marketing, because marketing is a full-time job. Okay. But I decided for long-term sustainability, the kind of scaling I want, marketing is my passion. I love like understanding human psychology, sales, you know what I mean? And it's also a creative field where you get to be creative. You get to try new things, ads, videos, and posters, marketing, all kinds of marketing collateral, right? So I thrive in the marketing sphere. So I was like, it makes most sense, and it aligns with my own skills to dedicate time to learn marketing. And I learned it so well that I was able to really, currently our return on ad spend is about 500 or 600%. Okay, so we get $5 or $6 out of every dollar we spend. So here you can see, I'm just going to organize this. Impressions really doesn't matter. I really don't care too much for impressions unless we're looking at now search impression share. Let me show you search impression share. What this shows is this is actually not all my campaigns. This is just This is just one campaign, actually. This is just one campaign. Can we see all of them combined? So this is all of them combined, right? This is all of them combined, search impression share. So for all my ads, pretty much Cascade Limo, our search impression share is, call it 22%. So 2.2 out of every 10 people, or 22 out of every 100 people who search the keywords we're bidding for see us. So 1 out of 5, that is not excellent. So the goal is to get this to 50, 60%. Then you know you're dominating the market. But anyway, this is where we are right now. And before, when we were with the marketing agency, these numbers were at least less than that. We were still making money, but we couldn't scale. We couldn't scale well. So we couldn't add our budget without increasing our costs, our overhead costs significantly, right? Our marketing costs. So pretty much took over the account and made some improvements. I studied the game. I love Google Ads. I'm learning every day, and I'm able to apply that into my business and see the results. And I'll show you the results. So what we can look at, let's just look at 1 month for context. And search impression share, 2,000 clicks, click-through rate is 12%. These are above industry averages. A 12% click-through rate for the number of impressions we're getting, 8,000. That's a lot. 75 conversions. This is a healthy account. So what happens is, and I'll show you our ads. So pretty much we have different campaigns. I have 4 campaigns. I've broken down our campaigns into 4. 2 campaigns, 2 audience segments. In our business, we're really targeting 2 audiences. It's that simple. We're targeting people who want to go to or from the airport. We call them airport campaign. And we're targeting people who don't want to go to the airport. They want to go within the city or out of the city, but nothing to do with an airport. We call that a non-airport audience. So we have our airport audience and our non-airport audience. And then in the airport audience, that breaks up into 2 segments, because we have a local audience in Calgary and around Calgary. We focus on Southern Alberta, but we also have a global audience. We have clients, we have leads in the UK, in Australia, in the US especially. The US is a big part of our search impressions. We have audiences in India, in China, in Russia, in Africa, in Nigeria, Kenya, people who want to come to Calgary. So when they search very specific things. They search Calgary limo service or Calgary airport car service. So since we have that audience, we broke down each of our 2 audiences. We broke down into a further 2, and we're looking at a local audience and a global audience. So that's what we have here. If you can see my campaigns, I have a local limo. This is a non-airport, it's retail. And then I have a local airport. And then I have a global limo, that's a non-airport. And then a global airport, which is the airport, okay? So we can see how each of these campaigns is doing here. Search impression share is pretty good. And, like I've said, I've been managing our account since October. Month over month, we've been growing in performance, but these are pretty much the main metrics that I look at: search impression share, search lost is rank, and search lost is budget. I can see where there's room to increase budget. For example, in this first one, our search impression share is 44.5%. Let's call it 45%. But why is it not 100? Because the remaining 55%, we're losing 55%, 41% because of the ranking of the ad and certain characteristics of the ad, maybe certain settings, the certain copy issues or landing page issues, or maybe not issues, but there's things in those categories that are impacting the ad rank. And the other one, the easiest one to fix, is budget. So we're only losing 14% because of budget. So if we raise our budget double, we're not gonna necessarily improve our impression share that much, because we only have 14% that we can capture because of budget. So what that tells me is we need to work on the ranking. In this other campaign, you can see search impression share 15%. This is very bad. I was looking at this yesterday and I'm like, no, this is not good. I did make a change in this campaign and I removed there was a broad match keyword that was running, and it was really doing good, but it was just, what it was doing is, because it was broad match, and that was an error in my part. And that's why you gotta have someone who's paying attention to your ads, because that's money going down the toilet. So our ad was showing up for keywords. It was conflicting with other ad groups and in other campaigns. So because that one was broad match, it was targeting, and it's an airport broad match, it was targeting non-airport users just because of the broad match feature. So I turned it off, and our campaign suffered a bit because of that. Impression share dropped significantly, but now it's better to go down and build it up on a steady foundation. So that's what we're gonna do. It says limited by budget. I'm sure budget will help. But so if, because 11% is lost because of budget. So if I increase budget, that would increase ad rank because we would have a higher bid, and budget affects bid. It's calculated using your bid, ad, and website quality, context of the search, blah, blah, blah. So if we do increase the budget, we can increase our bid, and that would increase, our search impression share. But how much really? 11% is not much room to work with. This one, 9%. This is doing great. 75% impression, and 75% search impression. That's really good. How much is lost because of rank? 15%. Lost because of budget, 9%. This is just the behind the scenes of my Google ads. The main thing to focus on is how much when someone clicks an ad like this one, we'll just say this YYC car service, right? You see that open. When they click this ad, YYC car service, I'll just open this and we'll see what this looks like, this ad setting. So this is ad group YYC car service. YYC is the 3-letter code of the airport, Calgary International Airport, YYC. So when someone searches YYC car service, you know they're thinking about the airport. And this is what it looks like. So this one takes people to the airport landing page, right? This one takes people to the airport landing page. And what we have here is like, YYC, number one YYC car service, different headlines. I have all my headlines filled. Google says this ad strength is good. How can we improve it? We've already done a lot of the things they're improving. They'd probably say add more unique headlines, right? Just play with the headlines. Actually, another thing that would improve ad strength is if we unpinned these 4 headlines, but I like to pin them so it can show up first. It can show up before the other message. But if you unpin that, I'm sure it's going to say ad strength good. And maybe that will improve the ad ranking. Who knows? So pretty much someone sees our ad. Oh, yeah, they search YYC car service or airport service to YYC. We're going to show up. The better way to travel. Get a quote and see why clients have trusted us. We're the limo company that always comes. Okay, they're like, great. Let me click on this. So they click on it. They go to the landing page. Boom, this is the landing page. Number 1 Calgary Airport limo service. This is a new landing page that we were A/B testing, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. But so far, it's performing really well. I like it. It looks nice. It's clean. Bada bing, bada boom. Just need to add maybe a couple more photos. But that's the whole point of optimization. So what happens when someone comes to a landing page and they fill in, okay, they're in our landing page. What happens? They're like, well, they read, yeah, this fits for me. Oh, these guys have worked, there's this reputation area here. They're like, oh, they've worked with some big companies in Calgary, right? University of Calgary, Borgia, Kidco, Northern Air, Lafarge. They're like, oh, these guys must be good, right? They must be doing something right if all these clients are working with them. This is something I want to see as well. Like, is this really visible? I'm testing these kind of things, text, boldness, visibility. Anyway, so they've gone through it. You see, this is a landing page. They have no option except to just get a quote. And that's one big key difference in successful and unsuccessful Google ads. Often an unsuccessful ad doesn't have a landing page. It usually sends people to a website. And the thing with the website, as you saw, look at the difference between this. You see this? Look at the difference between this and the difference between this. Okay. Look at the difference with this. In this page, you can get lost in Wonderland. You know what I mean? Go down a rabbit hole. And you know what? People get bored. They'll just be like, oh. So the landing page is straight to the point, straight to the point. There's no beating around the bush. Just get a quote. What happens when someone gets a quote? I'll give an example here. I'll just fill in a YouTube demo landing page. I just want to create it so, because I do a lot of demo tests on my form. So I just want to create something that I know makes sense. Yeah. YouTube demo landing page is the first name, last name is today. Phone number, I'll just put in something bogus here, 478-987-4712. I really hope that's not someone's real number. Email, I'll also just put something bogus here, akex@gmail.com. Type of service, airport transportation, since obviously I came to the airport app, but my form unfortunately doesn't have autocomplete, and I'll talk about that later. That's one of the drawbacks with GoHighLevel that I'm having. Number of hours, well, I'm just a quick airport ride. Number of passengers, let's say 2. Okay. No, thank you. Okay, I consent to receive notifications, bada bing, bada boom, get your quote. So what happens? So someone just filled in, hey, your submission has been received. Thanks for filling in the form. You can check out our website in the meantime. So they go there, they're checking out our website, but in the meantime, when we come to our CRM, and unless I've already, let's see if that will come through. So here we go. What happened is it knows it's me. It knows it's me because it tracks the IP. So the contact, it already has the contact. So yeah. So it's not gonna agree to create create a new opportunity for me. It's not gonna send me back, and that's the issue. But what I'm showing you is you can see the contact was created. YouTube demo landing page today. That's the contact I created. The issue is this, like it already knows it's me. It tracks my IP and it knows it's me. And so it's not going to create a new contact. Okay. It's not going to allow re-entry into the pipeline, but pretty much that all the things I filled in, akex@gmail, the phone number, since I filled in the form, then the form details, it updated a contact, but the contact should contain the updated info as well. And you can see, yes, this is what we put. Business class sedan, number of hours 1, 2 passengers, destination was 405. So it captured it. And you can see here actually today is Feb 6, 1:58 p.m. It shows that this person visited and submitted a form. However, it doesn't record it as a unique conversion, okay, because we only count one conversion. So it doesn't create it as a unique conversion. So that's what happens. Let's say for someone who it's their first time messaging, I'll show you what this looks like. So what we're in here now is Limo Manager. This is the GoHighLevel gray label version that I told you about. And I'll quickly show you what this looks like for a manager from a dashboard perspective. New leads, this is my funnel here. And we'll just do 30 days. So let's go there, January. Look, this is how much is in my pipeline, 68K in January, 68.9 thousand in my pipeline. That's not money that I've collected, but that's lead value that we've gotten. When we were looking at the campaigns for January, look at how much I spent in January. So I spent K, and in my funnel, I have 68.9K. Actually, what am I saying? This is actually this is how much was won. This is only what was won. Won, not even quoted. This is what was won. What was quoted, open, won, lost. This is it. We quoted at $167,000. Out of 167,000, we converted $77,000. So that's an 18.1% conversion rate. So what this means, this I know this might be hard to understand. It really isn't, but trying to figure out how we spent about 8,000 Canadian dollars, and we made 77 point. I'm a math guy, but even I have to pull out my calc for this. No, 8,000 divided by 77,730. There we go. Times 100. That's a $971 7% return on ad spend. It's not a profit on ad spend, but it's a return on ad spend. We spent 7K and we got 78K. That's what a CRM helps you see. It really helps you see how your marketing dollars are being spent. And we can see the thing with that is not all of that is Google Ads. Unfortunately, not all of that is Google Ads. That is our overall funnel. But the lead source, you can see from the lead source, we can see from Google Ads where that is. Here we go. 202 leads from Google Ads, 49,000. You can see down here, lead source report. Google Ads, 202 total values. Okay. Google Ads Airport, that's different. And we can see where the other ones came from. Google Ads quote form. So those two, yeah, the Google Ads is 60K. At least 60K of this is Google Ads. And the rest is, and even the phone calls, because the phone calls as well are from the phone calls are a number pool. So it's a number pool on our website and our Google Ads. So I can't break it down yet. But everything that comes from Google Ads gets a Google Ads tag. And that's at least 68K of this 70, about 7,000, okay, 8,000 on Google Ads, and we're making 68,000 in revenue from Google Ads. Just Google Ads leads, okay? Those customers are going to come back and they're going to book with us again. And that was free. No marketing cost to that. So, we have a customer lifetime value for us. Like I said, one customer is $250 per cart. And on average, if they book with us 3, 4, 5 times a year, a customer is worth at least on the low end 1,500, and on the high end, I have customers who are worth 10,000. So that's how I'm willing to spend a lot on my marketing, because I know it's paying me back. So pretty much that's our funnel. So when they come in, they go into new lead. We have an automation that starts messaging them, and then one of my reservations guy comes in. He gives them a quote. He talks them through any questions and concerns they have. Make sure they're comfortable to proceed, and then they're ready to book. We get paid, and then we keep up with them and tell them, hey, your trip is a few days away, or your trip is tomorrow. Make sure all the details are correct. Then they do the trip. After that, then we also send them. I'll show you what the pipeline. This is what my pipeline looks that I've been describing. When they fill in a form, they come here to new leads. Okay, so all these new leads are people who filled in a form. We clean this up every day. So this shows that literally in the last 12 hours, literally most of these are from today. We've had 26 opportunities, 26 leads in one day. We had days when we had 0 leads. Those days sucked. So nowadays we're getting consistently 20 leads, 26 leads. That allows us to book year round. And quoted. So when someone comes in, new lead, we can open this. This was a phone call because it doesn't have a name. So I already know it was a phone call. Contact source, Cascade number pool. So this is someone who called us. Okay, they called us. And with my attribution, I can even see exactly where they called from, right? They called from paid search. You can see at the bottom here, there's a Google Click ID. They pretty much clicked from an ad and called us. Okay. So that's one. Let me show another one. So when someone fills in a form, they come in, they get an automated message. Let's look at Natasha. Yeah, this should be a good one. Come in. Oh, you see, hi Natasha, it's Cascade Limo. Thanks for requesting a quote. Would you prefer that we call you? Oh man, I need to give my dispatcher a call. Look at all this. People texting is fine. No one replied. This angers me. This is one thing that you have to do. You have to follow up on your leads. In fact, I'm just going to pause this and I'm going to call my dispatcher right now and ask him what the heck is going on, my friend. What is going on? Because we're losing money on the table right now. Give me a second. Hey, listen, man. I'm really not pleased. New leads. We have guys who are waiting here since 11:10 a.m. They haven't been replied in new leads and they said text. Come on, man. Are you supervising aid? Emir, you promised me that's why we're hiring someone so he can be on top of things. Make sure we're on top of things, please. I'm doing something. Okay. I just spoke with my dispatcher because this person messaged at 11:51 a.m. and it's now 12. It's been, Jesus, I just feel like fainting. It's been 2 hours and we haven't replied to them. This hurts me. It irks me as well. And the booking is Feb 19th. Fortunately, it's not today. Otherwise, we would have lost that lead for sure. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so back to topic. So those are new leads. I can see everywhere from my website. You can see here source number pool. This is undefined. Google Ads. Usually undefined are people who call directly on our company line. Google Ads, undefined, 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 website quote form, Google Ads, website, number pool, Google Ads. So because of attribution and tracking, I know exactly which marketing avenue is bringing in this particular person. So once they're new leads, then we quote them. When we quote them, we change their opportunity. So when you send someone a quote them, we kick them down the pipeline to quoted. And I'll show you what a quote looks like. Hey, Katie, here it is. So this is a good one up till the quoted. When they came in, it automatically created them as a new lead. They say email or text works. Okay. Also, we requested, would you like a round trip? Round trip would be great. I'm telling you, just this automation has made us thousands of dollars. This one. Would you like a round trip? This one has made us thousands. When I left it to my dispatcher, they would remember 1 out of 10 times they'd remember to ask for a round trip. When I automated it, every time it asks, and we've booked at least 60% more round trips because of this one automation. The client wants a round trip, but they didn't think of asking for a round trip. So they're just thinking of, well, let me get the quote first and then I'll decide if I want a round trip. But when we ask them in advance, do you want a round trip? We're already telling them we're so confident that you'll want a round trip. Do you just want a round trip right now? Do you want to get a quote for a round trip right now? And they're like, yeah. Look, we sent a quote, 120 plus tip. This is a template that I use. All my dispatcher has to do is enter the value, or the reservations agent. They just have to enter the price for the particular trip. All the other details is picked up from their form, their name, their destination, the date and time, everything. We just have to enter the price. Then they're like, thanks for the quick response. Just reviewing other options. I will confirm later today. Okay, got it. We look forward to hearing from you. When you're ready to book, just let me know. And then we update the opportunity. This person is now quoted. What happens when they're in quoted is there's automations in the background that will follow up after 6 hours, after 12 hours, after 3 days. It's going to keep asking, hey, just checking, are you still interested? And they'll be like, yeah, actually, I'm ready. Or they'll be like, no, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And then the automation will shut off until we manually come, and now we're reviewing our quoted. Every day we're reviewing our pipeline, and we're like, oh, this person told us to check in a week. Let's check on them now. Other people, when they're ready, we just kick them down to pending. Once these people are ready to pay, this is money on the table. 145, 105, 199, 210, 1977. These are people who are ready to pay. We've sent them the payment link. We're just waiting on them to pay. Once they pay, we kick them over down the pipeline to booked. This is all our booked trips now. All these people are booked. Once their trip happens and the trip is completed, we kick it over here. We kick it, either we ask them for an internal feedback review. If we know something went wrong with the trip, incidents happen. If we know something went wrong, we're not going to ask the person, we don't have the audacity to ask for a Google review. If something went wrong, we're going to ask them, hey, could you give us some internal feedback so we can improve? Okay. And they can vent. We give them a space to vent. But if things went well, look, even if I can get a 3.5 or a 4, even a 4-star is good for me. Okay. I just want Google to see that people are interacting with us. And it's good for people to know that having only a 5-star review is dangerous, because what if things go badly? Then people are going to think it's a lie. Okay. So I like to balance like some 5-star reviews with 4.5 stars with 4 stars. I like that. That's okay. But all these people have been booked. They've they've been requested to write a Google review. We send them a link. I'll show you what that looks like. This is a client who really left a stellar review. But this is it's an automation. When my dispatcher changes the opportunity stage, or when he does one action, it triggers there's automations that are being triggered. So this is the last one. Hi Faisal, it's Eric on of Cascade. If you had a good time, leave us a quick review. It helps our business. Thank you. And it has a link there. Someone clicks there and they can just go boom and write a review. Okay, straight there. I'm not telling them go write a review and go figure it out yourself. Go figure out where it is. I'm telling them, hey, write a review, and here's exact. Just click this button and just write a review. You can see our stars here. I'll show you our star rating, 4.9 from 137. When I bought the business, we had 4 Google reviews. One of them was someone who was saying the food was awesome. We're not a restaurant, so that was useless. Out of the 3 reviews, one was just a 4-star and 2 were 1 stars with really long negative feedback. So we had bad reviews. And ever since then, we've grown 137 5-star reviews. But because of those bad reviews, we're averaging at 4.9, which is still okay. It doesn't matter. With ending 2024 December, our goal was to hit 100 by end of December. Okay, so from January to December, we got 100 reviews. So our goal was to hit 100. Now we're in February and we're already at 137. So 37 more in 2 months. So what this tells me is the goal for this year is to get 300. We need 300 reviews by the end of the year and an average of at least 4.75, 4.5 above. So that's that. So what I've walked you through pretty much, I've shown you what my pipeline looks like. I've shown you how I get leads from Google Ads and my website. I've talked about SEO and then also, your SEM. When someone fills in a form on our website or Google Ads, it all comes into our CRM. This is where the funnel comes. I've shown you the funnel, new lead. When someone is new, this is where they are. This needs to be 0 every day. At the end of every day, this needs to be 0. Quoted, these are people we've quoted and we're waiting for them to say yes or no. When they say no, we mark them as lost. They get kicked out of the funnel. If they say yes, we move them to pending, send them a payment link. When they pay, we send them to booked. When they book and the trip is over, we ask them to give us either an internal review or a Google review. This is our lead generation, lead conversion, and customer retention system, because these are the online quote pipelines. So what happens after someone becomes a customer? Boom, I send them to another pipeline called client retention pipeline. This is my client retention pipeline, and it's divided into 2. We just have people in the nurture stage and ascend. And nurture is pretty much people who've used us once or twice, and they've used us for only one service. They haven't used us across the board for our different vehicles and different services. We want to nurture them and let them get to know more about us. So we have an email marketing campaign that targets them and just tells them, hey, by the way, there's a game at the Saddle Dome. Maybe you want to take a limo. They've never done that before. They'll be like, we never knew these guys had limos. The number of clients I've had for years, we've had clients for years, and they never knew we had a limo. They never knew we had a van. They never knew we had a Sprinter. They never knew we can get them any car they want, whether it's a bus, a coach, whatever, right? And then ascend are clients who they spend a lot of money with us. They know us, and we're just trying to get them to spend more or to get more value from what they're already spending. So we target a different message to them and different marketing collateral to them. So that's my client retention pipeline. That's my online quote pipeline. This is really just an overview. There's so much more I could have said. Just to wrap off, one thing I'll say, Google Ads, it's just like anything in life. If you put in the time to learn it and to try and make mistakes and learn, and you're willing to try, make mistakes, learn, that's how you grow. That's how you get better, right? So a lot of people have tried Google Ads, and the issue is they hired someone who wasn't very familiar with their industry. No one is a 10 out of 10. Even a 10 out of 10 Google Ads guy can't help you if he doesn't understand your business, if he doesn't understand your customer psyche. Okay, that's 50% of the work. You got to be a pro in your business, and then you got to be a pro in Google Ads. You don't even have to be a pro in Google Ads. If you're a pro in your business and an amateur, a newbie in Google Ads, you'll still make money. Okay, if you're a pro in Google Ads and an amateur in business, or have a basic novice understanding of someone's business, you'll help them make money. Okay, but where the ultimate leverage is if you're the owner, you understand the business, you live and breathe this. It's personal to you. Every dollar is personal to you. And then you learn some Google ads, you apply yourself. No one can rip you off. You know what right looks like, you know what wrong looks like, and that's the ultimate leverage. And that's how you can really scale with Google Ads, with pay-per-click. Here's the thing, Google Ads, all I showed you was search. We're only spending 8K in search. I anticipate by the end of the year, we'll probably be spending 8K a month on Google Ads, 20, 30K a month. As long as the numbers show me that there's people out there searching for this, I'm going to keep raising my budget and improving my ads and capturing the ultimate, like all market share. I want 100% impression share, but I know there's a point where that's not practical and affordable. And that's the point where now you go higher up the funnel, you go to display ads, you go to search network, you start search on Bing, you start Bing ads, because Bing, I did Bing as well, and I was getting really good results from Bing. So especially in the US or Canada, Bing is a really good one. But yeah, with all this to say, just because you've tried Google Ads and it didn't work doesn't mean it doesn't work. It works, but you just gotta know someone who understands the business and someone who understands how Google Ads works. And you have those two components and you're gonna have success. And yeah, take care and all the best with you and your business. God bless.